In today's video, I'm going to show you how to buy rental properties from other landlords if you're looking for flips or places that cash flow. Let's dive right in. If we haven't met, my name's Ryan Dossey, and I've been in the direct-to-seller real estate investing space for the past 10 years. Literally, all I've done for the past 10 years is marketed directly to property owners to see if they'd consider selling their place off-market, as is, for cash without having to pay realtor fees, and often at a pretty healthy discount. I also own Call Porter. We take over 10,000 calls a month from marketing like this for investors and agents all around the country, plus ballpoint marketing, which we'll get into in a minute. Over the years, I've owned over 100 rental units. I've flipped hundreds of properties, and there's something that we've kind of just noticed. One of our most consistent and repeatable source of deals is other real estate investors that are either needing to free up cash, looking to retire or downsize, or people that tried it and said, hey, this isn't for me. Something else I noticed though, I've never called that out specifically that I'm interested in buying other people's rental properties. Property owners with rentals often have unique challenges, like if the tenant isn't paying, or if they're behind on their rent, or if they want the tenant to stay and they're on a long-term lease, they can't sell that place to a regular owner occupant. So I'm going to show you how to pull a list of places that are likely rental properties, as well as how to market to them. So hopping into my computer here, we're going to be using one of two tools, either PropStream or DealMachine, whichever you're most comfortable with. Both of these function pretty similar. So at the top, you're going to punch in the market that you're in. I'm going to do St. Charles, Missouri for the sake of this example, part of town that I grew up in. Now, both tools have kind of this quick filter for like tired landlords. How they know it's a tired landlord, or effectively what that means, is the person has owned the place for 10 or 15 years or more, and it's not a house that they live in. So it's not necessarily a rental property, like maybe they bought a house for a family member or something, but that's kind of what that filter is. The more common way that this is pulled, we're going to start by figuring out what sort of property type you want. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to do a single family house. We then want to make sure that that property has equity, meaning that they can afford to sell to us at a discount. So we're going to go down to value and equity. We're going to do a 35% minimum on the equity percentage. We can see in St. Charles, there's a ton of single families with equity. So now we're going to get to the absentee part. Absentee simply means they own the house, but they don't live there. So owner occupied, we're going to flip to no. As you can see, that drops our numbers quite a bit. We're down to about 5,400 folks. Now, what we want to do from here is go into this ownership type section. We're going to focus on the places that are owned by individuals or trusts. That knocks it down to 4,169. But what I would consider doing is looking at the number of properties owned filter. Now, I've done content before where I talk about, I always do a minimum of 3 properties or fewer, looking for like the person that had 1 property, it didn't sell, so they had to keep it as a rental. With something like this, you could do that. You also might consider doing something like individuals who own a minimum of 3. Thought process behind that, it's possible that they own 1 house and have a house for a family member. They probably don't have 2 or more of those. So in my opinion, this would indicate that those are more likely to be rental property owners. You can also do the tried and true though if you want, which is going to be 3 properties or fewer. Now, absentee owners with equity who own 3 properties or fewer is a very common list that we hit. The reason being, it's way easier for somebody to sell a house if they don't physically live there. They care much less about interest rates or what prices are on the market because they're not trying to necessarily buy something different. They're trying to free up cash or lower expenses. So you could focus on the tired landlords where they've been there for 15 years or more, or you could cast a wider net like this. In this particular county, we've got 2,800 where they own 3 or fewer. If we focus on the ones that are tired landlords, we can see that almost cuts the list in half in this county, just to 1,430. So if you were looking to buy rental properties, these would be great folks to reach out to. They've owned the place for a long time. If we look here in the estimated loan balance, a lot of these places are owned free and clear. So maybe you could pick something up with seller or owner financing, but this is a fantastic list to reach out to if you're looking for rentals. Real quickly, hopping into DealMachine, I'm going to show you how to pull the same thing. So we'd simply go St. Charles, Missouri here at the top, pick the county, property type. We're going to do single family. Click on equity and value, and we're going to do that. It's greater than or equal to 35%. And under their quick filters, we're going to do absentee owners. I'm going to come back over to filter, and we need to add in a cap for the number of owned properties. And we're going to do is less than or equal to 3 to try to match effectively what we tried to do in PropStream. Let that load for a second. While that loads, we're also going to tag that we don't want corporate owned properties. You can market to corporate owned properties. I've bought tons of properties from LLCs. I think the general thought process is like they're going to be more savvy. The fact of the matter is companies run into problems as often as people where they want or need to sell. So we're going to mark that a no. Click confirm. And we've got right at, drum roll please, we've got right at 3,300 properties. Now, if we wanted to focus on the ones where they've just owned it for a really long time, go back into those quick filters, scroll down, and also say, give me the tired landlords. Actually, you know what? I'm going to remove the absentee filter because I don't think it'll let me have both. So tired landlords, 3 properties or fewer. Interestingly, they have a smaller list of 665. So my guess there would be DealMachine is doing longer, and PropStream might be doing like 10 years, whereas DealMachine is doing 15. So with either of those, you'd either hit build list, or in PropStream, check the box, add to list, save that, and export it out. Now that you've got your data, you're going to head on over to ballpointmarketing.com. You're going to go into the product catalog in the asset specific pieces. And what we're looking to send to these folks to generate inbound leads is going to be the sell your rental property postcard. So you're going to select the quantity that matches your list that you just pulled. You're going to add that to cart, enter in your personal information as well as your contact info where sellers should reach out to you when they want to sell, and upload your mailing list and simply check out. From that point, we're going to sit back and wait for calls to come into us. If you want to take those calls yourself, fantastic. I've got advice here on the channel on how to do that. If you want to outsource it to my company, call porter.com. We'll hook you up on pricing because you're using both of them. If you guys have any questions about how to pull these lists, what to expect off of these mail campaigns, how to talk to your sellers or work your leads, simply drop your questions in the comments. I personally respond to all of those. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Again, my name is Ryan Dossey. I'll talk to you guys next time.